Okay, so for day 2 notes, we're going to talk about the discriminant. So in the quadratic formula, remember the quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So this portion underneath the square root here, this b squared minus 4ac, is called the discriminant. So when the discriminant is positive, that's what this is showing. The discriminant is greater than 0, so it's positive. When that happens, you have two real solutions, which means you have two x-intercepts. When the discriminant equals 0, that's what this is showing, you have one solution and one x-intercept. And when the discriminant is negative, it's going to give you a negative square root. And so when the discriminant is less than 0 or negative, you have no real solutions, which means you have no x-intercepts. Okay, let's go ahead and try a couple problems. So it says determine the number of real solutions. So when it wants to know how many solutions a quadratic formula or a quadratic equation is going to have, then we go ahead and we use the discriminant, and that's the b squared minus 4ac. So this is in standard form, meaning it goes ax squared plus bx plus c. The a is 1, the b is 8, and the c is negative 3. So we have b squared minus 4ac. Now if you type that in your calculator, just as it's shown there, you get 76, which is a positive number. When the discriminant is a positive number, it means it has two real solutions. All right, let's try this one. So we have 9x squared plus 1 equals 6x. Now this is not in standard form, so before we can begin, we need to subtract the 6x. You can't actually, say, take 9x squared minus 6x and get 3x because they're not like terms. You just need to rewrite it. 9x squared minus 6x plus 1 equals 0. Now it's in standard form. The a value is 9, the b value is negative 6, and the c value is 1. So the discriminant is going to be b squared minus 4ac. So negative 6 squared minus 4 times a times c. We can type that into our calculator and we get 0. When the discriminant equals 0, that means there is one real solution. All right, let's go ahead and try just a few more to make sure we've got this down. So once again, when it wants us to determine how many real solutions there are, we use the discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac. When it's positive, there are two real solutions. When it equals 0, there's one real solution. And when it is negative, there are no real solutions. So before you begin, always make sure it's in standard form. This one it's in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So b squared minus 4 times a times c. We plug in our numbers, we write that out to show our work, we type it in our calculator, and we get 0. Remember, when it equals 0, there is one real solution. All right, on number 8, this is not in standard form yet. We need it to be equal to 0. So we're going to add the 1. So if I rewrite that, I get 6x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 0. So my a value is 6, my b value is 2, my c value is 1. So remember, b squared minus 4ac. Now you type that into your calculator. I just type it in exactly as is with every parentheses and everything. I get negative 20, and when your discriminant is negative, there are no real solutions. And for this last problem, it is once again not in standard form. So I'm going to subtract the 7x and add the 1. So that's going to get me half x squared minus 7x plus 1 equals 0. So my a value is half, my b value is negative 7, and my c value is 1. So we have b squared minus 4ac. Once again, I type that in my calculator, I get 47, and since it is positive, it means there are two real solutions. Now, all of these answers also correspond with how many x-intercepts they have. So on example 7, there's going to be one real solution, therefore it crosses the x-axis in one place, so there's one x-intercept. On 8, there's no real solutions. That means the graph will never cross the x-axis, and we'll have no x-intercepts. And on example 9, there are 2 real solutions, so it will cross the x-axis in 2 places, which means there will be 2 x-intercepts. And the formula b squared minus 4ac is just the part that's underneath the square root of the quadratic formula, and that is called the discriminant. And that's what you use when you're trying to determine how many solutions or how many x-intercepts a quadratic formula will have.